As Dan just reported, the Vatican announced last week that the late Pope John Paul II will be beatified this spring. Terry Hegarty visited St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Basilica Parish in Chicopee to get reaction from some local Polish Catholics. He tells us now that expressions of joy and gratitude were plentiful, and many felt that the honor was well-deserved.
At a recent weekend Mass at St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Basilica in Chicopee, the late Pope John Paul II was on the mind of most. That's because the news that the beloved Polish pontiff is on the fast track to sainthood broke just one day earlier. Pope Benedict approved a miracle attributed to the intercession of his immediate predecessor and announced that Pope John Paul II is to be beatified in a ceremony at the Vatican on May 1st.
I was thrilled. I'm Polish, and he was a Polish Pope, and it's great. I'm so happy about it.
I felt that it was more than justified. Halfway through his papacy, I just knew he was going to be a saint.
Many agree with Walter, believing that John Paul II was a living saint because he lived such a holy life.
I just admire all the places that he's been, his knowledge and his holiness, mostly his holiness. I'm just very pleased that he's on the road to. Of course, he is already a saint in my mind and in the minds of most Catholics.
It's exciting news, and it's simple fact that John Paul is simply a holy man. And the fact that he's being beatified is excellent, and the road to sainthood would be, I'm sure, not in a distant future, will be here.
Once an individual is beatified, they are declared blessed and are just one step away from officially becoming a saint. In order to be declared a saint, at least one more miracle attributed to the person's intercession needs to be approved. Many feel that it is significant that John Paul II's beatification is to take place on Divine Mercy Sunday, a feast that he implemented, which calls attention to messages related by Jesus to a Polish nun, herself now a saint, Saint Maria Faustina Kowalska.
I'm very close to Faustina Kowalska. I love to go to her shrine, and she means a lot to me, so it's great that it's going to be on that day.
Phyllis and Walter say they'll never forget the thrill that they and many in the Polish community felt back in 1978 when Polish native Karol Wojtyła became John Paul II, the first non-Italian pope in more than 450 years and the first Polish pope ever. But the recent news from the Vatican was not only welcomed by people of Polish descent. Franciscan Father Pedro de Oliveira says that his Portuguese heritage did not prevent him from being excited. He says he and his fellow friars at St. Stanislaus were filled with joy. He noted that at the 2005 funeral for the pontiff, thousands held signs and chanted for him to become a saint immediately.
I think we all agree that the man was a living saint, and it's unanimous throughout the whole world how much the people loved him and believed him to be an authentic shepherd of our Lord.
Father Pedro, along with his sister, who is a severe epileptic, met Pope John Paul II in 1997.
It was a beautiful, joyful moment that I'll never forget. So he was very attentive to my sister. I'll never forget that.
Investigations into the late pontiff's life and writings began immediately after his death, as Pope Benedict XVI waived the normal 5-year waiting period. And many believe that it won't take very long following May 1st for John Paul II to have another approved miracle, leading to his canonization. Reporting for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.